Climate change, financial instabilities, senseless murders, natural disasters, horrific accidents, the list continues. There are so many troubling things going on in the world right now, it can all be a bit overwhelming. We seem to be continuously on the brink of catastrophe and yet have to somehow deal with comparably petty concerns in our day-to-day lives. The question is, how do we find a balance between the struggles of our daily existence and the many uncontrollable events around us? Do we wholly resign ourselves from all the misery around us and carry on unperturbed, or do we fall prey to the ills of despondency? Well, it's possible that the solution to our humanly woes might just lie in a philosophical line of thought known as existentialism. Most prominently attributed to 20th century French philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre, even though Søren Kierkegaard was arguably the first existentialist, existentialism or existential theory places a rather strong emphasis on the agency of each individual to make free and responsible decisions. This idea is further encapsulated in Sartre's assertion that existence precedes essence. In other words, we are born into this world with no pre-established notion of what being human entails. It is solely up to us to determine what meaning and purpose we give to our lives. Sartre argues that there is no escaping this reality. No matter what our circumstances might be, we will always have to bear that burden of choice. Now, this may sound intimidating, but existentialism is actually a rather liberating philosophy, because bearing the responsibility to face up towards existential realities can equip us with the tools necessary to forge a life that we truly want to live. And it is exactly the type of framework we need in our present-day context, where the alternative lies in mindless consumerism or numbing distractions. But to do that, we have to first acknowledge the fact that life is inherently meaningless. And more importantly, we have to come to terms with our own mortality. These aren't exactly pleasant pursuits. However, as all existentialists would argue, bringing death and meaninglessness into our periphery allows us to focus more on the potential for the one life we have. Unhappy with your current situation? Then do your best to change it and focus on fostering an authentic life, one that is true to yourself and defiant against external pressures. So basically, all we have to do is live a life where we strive to do what we want to do. Sounds simple, doesn't it? Well, not really. We still have to deal with the plethora of events happening both around us and to us that are beyond our control. We have no power over the environment we're born into, and we simply can't predict the many ill fortunes that will come our way because of this. It's a lot easier to talk about doing what we want to do when we're privileged enough to do so. Now, Sartre recognized this and spent a good portion of his latter life dedicated to the socioeconomic and historical conditions that influenced our freedom. And to the disapproval of his critics, Sartre did his best to merge existentialism with Marxism, a relationship he thought would maximize a person's potential for freedom. Now, while we might still be deeply entrenched in a global market economy, existentialism still offers us a pragmatic approach for dealing with the chaotic world around us. And that is that we have to either accept the physical and social constraints in our lives or try our best to ameliorate them. But in either case, we are free to pursue a life imbued with meaning, whatever that may be for each one of us. That is our only way to flourish in an absurd world, given the little time we have. However, if there's one thing that we can be sure of, it is that we all have to confront the bare facts of human life, no matter where we're from, what the color of our skin is, or how much monetary wealth we possess. So instead of succumbing to despair, this should compel us to act in solidarity with the people around us and strive to foster a world that is both fair and just for us all. Ultimately, as Sartre quite eloquently phrased it, existentialism is a humanism.